Hey everybody, Dr. Ray Blue here, and this is my movie review of Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. Does anybody really kill themselves in the film though? I mean, thought that was kind of a teaser. The entire cast in the film did a good job, particularly Will Smith and Margot Robbie, and I have to say I was very surprised to enjoy the performance of Jai Courtney, whom I never really liked in other films like Divergent series. He should definitely tackle more of these crazy characters. Well, I kind of like crazy. Viola Davis does a fine job as Amanda Waller and is quite intimidating in the role. One thing about Waller though, she's basically the cause of the entire crisis of the film. She gets her Task Force X greenlit to defend against the threat of metahumans, and her squad includes the most dangerous metahuman, the Enchantress, who rebels and becomes the threat that the Suicide Squad then has to defeat while also saving her from that very threat. A bit of a circular logic problem there, so maybe Waller needs to be tossed in Arkham herself. Anyway, I got excited seeing Marilyn Manson as the Joker, only to realize it was in fact Jared Leto, but that's cool. Leto does a pretty good job as the Joker, though only in the film for about 12 minutes maybe, which seemed a bit disappointing for many moviegoers as well as Leto himself. He put a lot of time and energy in transforming into the character, both on screen and off during the production, and it would be nice to see more of that footage in the director's cut, or something. So I'm not sure what to think of the version of the Joker yet, but definitely a unique presence in the film. Following Heath Ledger's performance is no small task. A bit more backstory of these characters would have been nice, even at the expense of Enchantress as the main adversary. To me, the Joker would have been a better villain, but no harm there. The Enchantress was a pretty cool character, though magic can be hard to do well and make it believable in any way. Still puzzled why an archaeologist finds an ancient antique and their first instinct is to break it open. Not good science there, but I digress. I would have had much rather seen the film have Joker as the main protagonist rather than a belly-dancing witch or even an introduction to Darkseid or villains from Apocalypse, which would have tied the DCU films together nicely. I would recommend the animated film Batman: Assault on Arkham, which is a simple but lucid storyline that Suicide Squad could have maybe learned a bit from. Suicide Squad is also yet another film where we see an army of inhuman creatures being killed off by dozens so to avoid an R rating, but still provide a high kill count for our heroes. Robots, zombies, demonic mud creatures and the like. I would much rather take a R rating of the movie and see some good violence rather than a bunch of CGI creatures having their heads shattered and splattered, but that's what we've come to expect with money-making franchises. Gotta keep the kids protected from violence, I guess. Or at least violence with red blood rather than green ooze, machine parts, or whatever. It also seems every movie now has the fate of the world threatened in some form or another by a giant beam shooting up or down from the sky. Some vortex that sucks everything up into it, or into another dimension, or spacecraft of some kind. We saw it in the Avengers, Transformers 3, Iron Man, Fan 4 Stick, the original Ghostbusters, its recent remake, and many others. Did a memo go out to every producer in Hollywood? I guess it works well enough as these movies were all box office hits, but... The film has taken well-publicized criticism for its choppy editing, misplaced soundtrack, and rushed storyline, but after seeing the film a few times now myself, I must say, well, I don't totally disagree with all that, but absolutely think it is a great time with good action, good humor, and all in all, a good film. Having lower score on Rotten Tomatoes than the 2003 film The Room, I mean, what the f... You can nitpick any movie to death, and seems most do, but fans of comic movies in this type of genre should enjoy themselves, and as the box office numbers seem to show, do, and many like myself keep coming back for more. Regardless of any criticism, the movie was an action-packed, gun-filled visual extravaganza that made for a fun time and never got boring for a moment. I will definitely be adding this to my bookshelf once released and think the film will make a great addition to any home movie collection worth its salt. Thank you for watching. Please comment below with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends, and help spread the madness.